this is about start of year 3, halfway through my first term. Some of the projects, I'll give you a list of what we've been doing. I'll give you also a little detail. Try and keep it 20 minutes, I guess. Are you timing me? No? Okay. First of all, just to let you know what's going on with the budget. We have a budget that was put together in December. It's about $31 million. Actually, if you look at it, it's 31.076. Last year's was 30 million, .3, so $30,323,000. So we went up a little bit. Some of that is pay increases. Some of that's grants that we've been pursuing. If you talk to the auditor, the county auditor, the city auditor, we're somewhere expecting flat revenue with our city. With that in mind, of course, we always are constrained by our services and what we can spend our money on for those services. And I mention that passing just because that is the equation that we have, and I look at every day. How to make the services last and the money last through the services what we have. As you know, there's a Richland Avenue project going, the roundabout. If you haven't seen it, you can go on the city website. There's a streaming video, about almost 10 minutes of how it's going to be constructed. The parts of the street that are going to be closed during the construction period, which starts in March and going to December. Also the traffic patterns you can expect to follow once it's assembled and working. That's about a $6 million project. About $5 million of that is coming from the state funds for various portions. I'll mention also this year we intend to fix Jeff Hill. We got issue 1 money for about $225,000. It's almost going to be about $300,000, so we'll probably have to only have about $75,000 ourselves. That's to fix the roadway. It will not be in brick. I know some people are disappointed with that. Other infrastructure projects we have are salt bin. We're going to fix our salt bin, which has been falling apart, for about $100K. A brine lagoon, which has to do with a water treatment plant. That's an issue that needs to be replaced. It's 30 years old or so, or longer. That's about $150,000. East State Street Access Road is almost done. If you go out to Halsey Clinic, you can find and see it, and it should be in good repair. I think there's discussion with the county about extending it further out, the bike path, further out, all the way to 24A. That's not this year, I don't think, though. Let's see, what other things? Water line replacement, McGuffey Lane I have. I don't know, that's tentative. We're talking about also putting that speed table, which is a speed bump, glorified speed bump on Morrison and Wallace. That's part of the state Safe Routes to School project. Most of our improvements are levied through grants. We have a component where we sit there and try chasing grants, and if we can actually leverage what we make, what we have in our revenue, we augment it with the outside money. As an example, that was the stimulus money for Curtis and Mulligan. Some of the other things, let's see. I'm going to skip ahead on some of this stuff. We have actually, we're going to be putting a design together for the Oxbow Bridge, the northern bridge on Richland. Sometime in 2012 for that. And that's going to be usual stuff. One of the things I want to let you know about is that I increased the bus fare because we were short revenue in our bus line. I'm very devoted to trying to keep our bus system running. We are, as I said, the monetary constraints are such that we've always taken some of our money out of our budget and stuck it in there. We're hoping with the increase in fare, which went from $1 to $1.50 for the day passes, will offset some of the loss. So we'll put it more, it's not going to be in the black, but less in the red. That's a concern of mine. I wish we could get a better bus system, but it's expensive to do. We'll have another bus coming at us from the stimulus package, so we'll have 2 new buses at sometime in January. We have one already we got in December. Other things, I'm trying to go through my list real quick here, but I can spend time on it. We have a second phase of the Safe Routes to School that will be in the works. One of the things will be an addition of a stairway between 4th Street and the Armory, behind the Armory. This will be a continuation. We have one that goes from Fairview down to 4th. Again, trying to create that pedestrian walkway. We're almost finished, and I have to thank the planner for doing a large amount of work on that. Paul Logue. We have that master plan for the pedestrian bike plans. That should be done sometime at the end of February, maybe. We'll be kicking around the draft sometime in the next couple of weeks. We spent about $20,000 on that over 2 years. Came up with some innovative ideas. Some of them, of course, are the bike lanes you see around town. Some would be more avant-garde as a counterflow bike lane in up Court Street. I don't know whether we'll do that or not, because it might take out parking, which is a sacred cow. I guess that's one way to call it. We're going to get solar panels on our parking lot out there. We'll have like a series of car decks on it, or car ports, I guess the term is. There's photovoltaics on it. We're doing that agreement as soon as we can. I have the Environment Committee from Council to thank on that, Allahu Ghazni, who did a lot of the work on that. We're still trying to work on a revolving loan fund process for purchase of homeowner purchase of photovoltaics on their roof. That's still in progress. Other things that have been done. We did change our FEMA maps. We've updated our floodplain maps, so if you're not aware of it, go to the website. That's always useful. We combined our water department and street department and sewer department under one public works, so we have a unified system. In the 2 years I've been doing this, one thing that's become very evident every time I do a project, I see a project, is that the street, when we tear up a street, that's the cheap side. Doing the street's the cheap part. The water and the sewer underneath is the expensive part. I always thought, oh, let's fix the street, that's the way to go, because that's the obvious part. But once you start saying, you're going to lay down a road and you don't want to have to tear up the pipes 2 years later, you do look at the other aspects. A classic example of that is the Granville Mary Street, which was done with CDBG money, and the Harold Avenue Street, which we just got done with off of Union Street. And you can tell, I don't know if anybody's been through there, but the telephone pole is now out of the center of the street, which is a good thing. We essentially, in terms of our tight budget, we of course started charging for yard waste. We still pick up Christmas trees for free if you call up the Public Works or the service garage, so it's still not too late to get your Christmas trees parked up. Yard waste generated about $5,000, but again, this is to offset the cost of picking up the yard waste when we're doing it for free. It was a service we were providing. As things got tighter, we had to decide what we need to crimp down on, so to speak. Gas aggregation, you voted in that last year. We are not doing anything with it because the purchase of gas from Columbia Gas is now in play. They have some rules that are changing, and so there's no sense trying to fix ourselves into a gas aggregate program or contract until we find out what shakes out. You gave us the authority to do that as voters, but we're going to be cautious on it, just because, as I say, the landscape is changing. We plan to do an upgrade of our wastewater treatment plant. We're chasing some grants for that. We hope it will happen. We are working with the university in terms of some research projects concerning electrolysis of nitrogen, which of course, urea, or rather, which comes from, or ammonia that comes from urea. I'm forgetting my chemistry, which I shouldn't have done. We have a wellhead protection team that's been working all the time, so we have that in place. And we're actually running annual code inspections for all the rentals right now, which is a twofold increase of what we were doing about 2 years ago. We had quite a bit of streamlining in the process and how we go about getting that done. Other incidentals. I would be remiss, and Ron would get down with it. Ron Lucas is the Assistant Service Safety Director, the one taking all the notes here. He is also the contact person for our 2010 census. This is where everybody, the census is coming up before April 1st. This is to find out how many people live in the city, the numbers, the funding that happens, as well as the fact that the rules will change if we hit 25,000. We'd go to 5 wards, 9 city council members. Different types of grants would be available, as well as we probably lose some ground in some grants. But the fact is, it's important to get counted. So everybody fill out your census form when it comes to the mail in the mail. And also, we're also working with the Ohio University Communication 455 class on a citizen survey. Citizens, I think we're going to send out 1,000 to the residents of the city, and I think about 1,500 to the students via email. One will be snail mail for the citizens of the city, and the other one will be a couple ways of email. Please fill those out. That gives us an idea of input. This is one reason why we have a town hall meeting, is to find out what everybody's thinking and where we're going. Likewise, the citizen survey is just another avenue of this, and it is in conjunction with OU.